If you got Moderna 4 weeks ago and you got it at the America Center, just go back to the same place because they're giving Moderna second shots there. And everybody should have received an email by now letting you know that you can sign up for an appointment time if you want. Usually second shots go a little faster than first shots, but if you have an appointment, stick with your appointment. If you don't have an appointment, that's okay, but it likely means the line will be longer because it seems that everybody gets up in the morning and they decide, well, let's go. And so the morning lines are usually pretty long. So stick with your appointment if you have one. So that's it for vaccinations. That I think is, we are really encouraging all city employees to get vaccinated. We've given them, this will now be the third opportunity to just go and get vaccinated. And we hope that everyone does, because that's the only way for us to get to immunity, herd immunity, as it's said, is for a high percentage of people to get vaccinated. And so we hope that that will be the case. We have eased up on some restrictions, but there are, we're having baseball with about 14 or 15,000 fans. We're having hockey with a low number of fans. We are working with the Muni right now on how's the Muni going to be this summer in July. That all is going to continue. But the best way for us to be able to ease up on some of these restrictions is to drive our case numbers down and not to have them continue to creep up. I think I mentioned this on Monday. I've been asking Dr. Eccles, hey, please consider lifting the limitations on bars, restaurants, the closing times, and just keep in place the mask mandate as well as the social distancing. With the creeping up in the numbers, he's unwilling to do that. I get it, but the only way to drive those numbers down is have the vaccine and wear your mask, socially distance, wash your hands, etc. So please do that. So that's all I have with regard to COVID for today. I just want to give a shout out really to all the people of St. Louis and all the businesses in St. Louis who have done such a great job. As I mentioned at the top, this is the last Live with Lyda, and I appreciate everybody who's watched. There have been thousands of people watching some days or watching over a period of time to get their information about COVID. My term ends on Monday. The new mayor will be sworn in on Tuesday, late morning, and so this is my last Live with Lyda. Let me just say this. It has been the greatest honor of my life to be able to serve as the mayor of the city of St. Louis. And it has been challenging, but it has been fun, 9 out of 10 days. And I'm very proud of our accomplishments. I think together we have managed as well as possible through this COVID crisis. I also think we have a lot of momentum that continues to build in the city of St. Louis. So far this year, so we're only on April the 16th, there's been almost $500 million in construction permits issued in the city of St. Louis. Of course, there are some big projects, but there are many, many small projects. People that are fixing up their house, getting a new roof, remodeling their bathroom, whatever the projects are. And that continues to say that people have confidence in their city because they're investing in their city. We continue to have many people who want to live in our great neighborhoods that have such great parks, most close by. There are 109 parks in the city of St. Louis. So between the momentum, which is important for building permits, but it's most important for jobs. It's most important because that construction activity provides jobs and good jobs for a lot of people. So I just want to thank everybody for being with me. Some of you watch every episode, I'll call it, and some of you just pop in now and then. But I love taking your questions, and today will be no exception. I'm going to take your questions, and I have just really appreciated being able to communicate with you in this way. The first Live with Lyda that we did was last year on March 29th, I think was the date. We've done almost 150 so far. And so I think it's been a really a great way to be able to try to communicate with you and to also hear from you. So I'll stop there and I'll just say to Jacob, do we have any questions?
Yes, of course, there are always questions. So
Good.
Chris's question about the dome, is the vaccine at the dome, is it always Pfizer? And who's currently eligible to be vaccinated at the dome?
Good question, Chris. The FEMA site at the Dome, Broadway and Cole, is Pfizer. There's no Moderna there, or Johnson & Johnson, which is paused right now. So it's all Pfizer. And who's eligible? Anybody 16 or older is eligible. Who lives in Missouri?
Cynthia's question, also about the dome. Are there accommodations for people there who have mobility issues, elderly, or individuals with disabilities?
Yes, there are. There are wheelchairs, there are elevators, there are escalators. It's quite easy for folks there. You can also drop people off or get out with people right there at the curb. There's free parking. I should have mentioned that again. And there are free bus passes or Metrolink passes for folks who want to take public transportation.
Tracy's question today has to do with masks. Do people still need to wear masks outside? What about at Busch Stadium?
So at Busch Stadium, is this Stacy? Tracy? Tracy, I think you might have messaged me or something. Yes, at Busch Stadium, you have to wear a mask. You're seated at least 6 feet apart, and you have to wear a mask unless you're eating and drinking. When I was there last week, and when people didn't have on masks, the ushers were coming by and saying to people, hey, get your mask back on. So they're doing a good job there.
We did get a couple of folks who submitted comments and wrote in about the new gun lock program at the fire department and how people can go about getting those gun locks and where they're available at.
So earlier this week, I think it was on Tuesday, we did some press about this, but this is so simple. There are 30 firehouses in the city of St. Louis. Almost everybody knows where the firehouse near them is. Stop into the firehouse and get a gun lock. It's that simple. There is a list of firehouses online, but I bet you know where a firehouse is near you. I can think of 2, 3 that are not too far from me. And so 30 we have a lot of firehouses.
We got a question from Kaylee. This is back on COVID and restrictions. If they're going to stay in place, what are the current expectations or the current restrictions for bars and restaurants and businesses in the city?
Well, Kaylee, they haven't changed much recently. You have to wear a mask unless you're seated at a table eating and drinking. So if you get up to go to the bathroom or get up to go talk to a friend, you've got to put your mask back on. Bars and restaurants are at 50% capacity and have to be socially distanced. The tables have to be 6 feet apart. And closing time is midnight.
So a couple of questions about retirement, Mayor. Christopher would like to know, what is your number one memorable moment over the last 4 years?
Oh, now that was a hard question. Somebody should have prepped me for that. My number one memorable moment was certainly the day that I was sworn in, which was April the 18th, 2017, is extremely memorable. The day that we turned over the 100-acre NGA site to the federal government after a couple of years of working to remove the old dirt from that site, take out the foundations. That day was very memorable and very important to St. Louis. The day that we that the Taylor family announced that they were going to bring an MLS soccer team to St. Louis, that was very memorable. I know I was only supposed to have one, but the day the wheel at Union Station opened was memorable. If you haven't taken a ride on the wheel, you really, it's fun. There's a brand new aquarium there as well. Of course, the day 2 days that are not maybe on the positive side that really come to mind. The day we had to put a stay-at-home order in place because of COVID, that was March 23rd, 2020. That was a very memorable day. And June 1st of 2020 was the day that we had 4 police officers shot and 1 retired police captain killed. That was a terrible, but worst day certainly of my administration. So those are some memorable things.
And then Kyle's question is, what are you most looking forward to after leaving office?
Well, you know, it's bittersweet. I am going to really miss this. It's such a tremendous honor. But I'm planning to take more walks in Forest Park, go have coffee. I think I'll be seen at the coffee shops more often. I haven't really had a lot of time to do that. And so I don't know. I don't have big plans. I do plan to, you know, I care deeply about St. Louis and about the people of St. Louis, so anything that I can do to help St. Louis, I will do. And I am just rooting hard for the success of the next mayor.
That is all for questions, Mayor.
That's all the questions. Thank you all. Really appreciate all of you being with us over the last 50-some weeks. And it has been a great way to be able to chat with you. So thank you all, and thank you to the people of St. Louis.